Olá, gente! My name is Instrutor Angoleiro and I've practiced capoeira for over 15 years. There are many legends about how capoeira was born. Quilombos dos Palmares, the martial art that was masked as a dance. Maltas de capoeira, and it goes on, but the main idea of capoeira always was the fight for the freedom against the oppressor and preserve the identity that was banned and repressed. Nowadays, capoeira has become an instrument that everyone can use to create a tool for a free life in which a capoeirista can always find a way out of the most difficult situations. This project is created to help the international capoeira community to understand the difficulties and struggles of capoeiristas that are currently passing through the first war that could be digitally distributed. Some of the Ukrainian capoeiristas are living in times when a missile can attack your house. Some of Ukrainian capoeiristas left their homeland and living all over the world. And some of Ukrainian capoeiristas are fighting against the Russian invasion on the battlefield. Before the big invasion started, you probably saw some of the Ukrainian capoeiristas playing in rodas, singing songs in Portuguese, and maybe you even visited the events. As a capoeirista, I have built a lot of connections with Ukrainian camaradas. Capoeira is an art of finding a way to face and evade danger and to find the right time to attack. After February 2022, I was obsessed with a lot of ideas on how to explain with the capoeira community is not only about capoeira, but also about the community. So here is my dialogue with capoeiristas that are trying to find their way for freedom. Final word, be strong like ancestors. Hello, Chuveiro. Please feel free on our first episode of the podcast of my project that I want to share with the capoeira world. And it's an honor to have you as a guest. And thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Could you please tell my audience about your capoeira journey?
Hello, Angoleiro. Nice to meet you. My name is Sergei Kotsegub. In capoeira world, I is known as Chuveiro. I study capoeira during 12 years. I teach capoeira to all ages during 8 or 9 years. And now capoeira is my lifestyle. It's what I do most of all in my life. Our school calls the Ukrainian Center of Capoeira. We represent of Israeli Center of Capoeira in Ukraine. My teacher now is Instructor Yerba. He is the head of our center in Ukraine. He live and teach and study capoeira in Kharkiv. And we coordinate with him very much. We do common rodas, common trainings. We are going to train one and another.
The war started, the full Russian invasion started at 24th of February 2022. And could you please tell me where did you encounter the war, the start of the war, and how it was for you?
I was born and I live all of my life in Poltava, Ukraine, and from start of the war I didn't go anywhere. And I met the war in Poltava and live here till now.
And could you please tell me what does capoeira means to you now? Or how do you practice it now? And why, actually? Because it's a really uncommon situation for any person, and due to this fact, it is important to know your motivation to continue. Could you please tell me about it?
It's an interesting question, because from when war has started, near the months, I can do nothing. I almost didn't eat. I almost didn't sleep, and scroll the news full time. And after the months from the start of the war, I some normalize my feelings, and at that time Yerba with his family came to Poltava for stay far from Russian missiles, which was falling on the Kharkov very often that time. And he lived in my house sometimes, and we decided to train to reduce our stress level. We took our children, our families, and went to my academy and do their capoeira almost every day. It was a very good therapeutic scene for us. And sometime after our training starting, I decided to reopen my groups. I sent the message to all my pupils, and we started our training now with new pupil. I lose near the half of my pupils from the war starting, and only half of my pupils came to me to my trainings in April of 2022.
Actually, it's already a big responsibility to teach people, just in general, to teach them something. You pass them information, you pass them some kind of really interesting thing, acrobatics, music, the language, the culture, but to pass this knowledge when the war is on. For me, it would be like so stressful to feel that I'm responsible for everyone when they come to the class. And how did you handle this stress?
Before I start my trainings in April 2022, we speak a lot with Yerba about capoeira, about war, about different peoples, and Yerba tell me one thing. He said that he felt his mission in capoeira in that hard time. He said that he wants to help all our children to make them stronger to win in this war, in this hard situation, and we decided to help our pupils through the capoeira in this situation. And when I remember what I must do now, it very easy to share what I know about capoeira, my music, my techniques, and it's not very hard when I know I help people with something.
Do I get you right that you want to say when you are teaching people, when you're teaching your students, you're trying to show that even when it is really hard to actually survive, you are still trying to stay in your routines, you're still trying to make your life more stable. Do you know what I mean?
Probably yes. My routine in everyday life and in capoeira was changed from start the war because of air alarms, because of blackouts, because of Russian missiles, because of bad and good news from the front line. And I think that it's very important to be flexible every time of your life, and it's a big danger to stay your routine the same in every situation of your life. And when life changes, your routine must be changing too, if I understand you right.
Yeah, I mean, does this change in your routine help you to feel more safe, psychologically safe?
The safety which came to my routine from start of the war, I see only in when air alarm called in during the training. We must to go down to underground parking and still our train there. It's not very comfortable, but it's more safe than just ignore it, because were some incidents, you know about it, and we don't ignore it in the situations.
So when you hear the alarms, you go to the basement, to the parking. Is there any other changes in your daily trainings, in your classes, maybe? Maybe you teach your students how to protect themselves, or some, I don't know, maybe some things that would help them in some cases.
The main change in my training routine was then when we started our trainings when Yerba lived in Poltava. I and Yerba developed a special training plan for training in underground parking, because we had not so much stuff like an academy. But capoeira is very differently. Has many aspects, and a big part of these aspects we can train in every conditions, on every grounds, with every stuff or without it. And what I teach my students from start of the war, which differences, I try to do what I do as good as I can, and other difference I can't remember.
Okay, that's really unexpected thing to hear. Training in the parking lot. I think you're maybe the first capoeira teacher that taught capoeira in the parking lot. Maybe not, but yeah, this is an unexpected thing to hear from a capoeirista, actually. What do you want to let capoeiristas know, the capoeira community, to know about the life of Ukrainian capoeiristas now? What are you struggling?
Do you mean, do I have some message for capoeiristas of the world? No?
Yeah. Do you want to tell something to the capoeira community that you are passing through and it is really bothering you, maybe, or you want to say something to them?
Yeah, but I'm a Ukrainian citizen and capoeirista too, and I can tell capoeira community, to capoeira community of the world, that Ukraine is strong. Ukraine is still keeping ourselves. And when I wrote about the war, one of my Brazilian friends, I wrote him one phrase. Sometime later I read it one more time, and I liked it, and now it is my credo in Facebook. And this phrase was capoeira is capoeira luta dos oprimidos contra os opressores. Capoeira venceu, e Ucrânia vai vencer também. It means capoeira is a fighting, and capoeira won many years ago, and Ukraine will win too. I want to ask of all capoeiristas of the world, if guys, if you can help Ukrainian people and Ukrainian capoeiristas by something, please do it. Please share the real information. Please, if you can, donate money, but not to us. It's better to Ukrainian military forces to win this terrible war. But we are strong, we stay strong, and I think we will, no way, we will win. No way.
Yes, I do agree. I do agree with this message that Ukraine will win, definitely. So I have a question, actually. I know that some of the Ukrainian citizens are participating on the front line. Some of them went abroad to be safe. Some of them are working like you on their spots. Some of them are donating to Ukrainian army, etc. Do you want to tell us about any capoeirista that you know that is maybe you noticed during the war, or maybe you want to share your message about some of Ukrainians?
Some Ukrainian capoeiristas, do you mean? Yeah?
Yes, about Ukrainian capoeiristas.
Ukrainian capoeiristas are Ukrainian citizens too, and a big part of capoeiristas which I know, somebody of them are soldiers now, somebody of them are volunteers, somebody are donators to Ukrainian army. And not a long time ago I had knew about the terrible death of one of Ukrainian capoeiristas, which I know personally, which I play in the roda with. It was Yana Arhlitskaya from Kharkiv's group Unicar. She was volunteer, she was military medic, and near the week ago she died near the Bakhmut. It's very bad and sad news for all capoeiristas of Ukraine. And I read already in many Ukrainian groups in Senzala, from Vinnytsia, from the city where Yana was born, and from Kiev and from Kharkiv, where many of capoeiristas knew her and played with her in the roda. And this is the first death of capoeirista because of the war, about I know, and is just was terrible for me.
I feel you. Thank you for sharing this information. And yeah, I saw this news. Thank you for talking about her. It is a big loss for all of the capoeira community. And yeah. I have a last question, final one. So, I heard a story. It is a story from the interview of Ukrainian journalist. His name is Gordon. I don't remember his name, but he's a really famous journalist. And he made an interview. And when they told about relationship between Ukraine and Russia in the future when the war ends, he mentioned a story about Soviet Union when Soviet hockey team played with Czech Republic, and it was 1968 when the Soviet Union tanks entered Prague. And those hockey players entered the elevator, and the captain of hockey team of Czech Republic, he spit it in the face of Soviet Union goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper Vyacheslav Tretiak asked the captain of of the team. Why did you do that? And he answered that that's because of the tanks. That's a really strong message that I feel from a lot of Ukrainians, from a lot of Ukrainian capoeiristas. And my personal question for you, if you, in the future, when the war ends, when you meet a Russian capoeirista on event, in a roda, somewhere, what would be your reaction? Would you play with him? Would you train with him?
It's a very hard question, and probably this is a most hard question which I asked me from the start of the war, and I must to say you I still have no answer to 100%. It's a very hard question. I don't know how the war will end, and I don't know what will be after it. But to the present moment, it's a very hard for me to speak with Russian people in generally, and probably for now, if somebody offer me to take part in some event, and I will be know that in this event will take part some Russian capoeirista, and if I will know that he didn't condemn the war, or what is worse, he supported the war, I will not take part in this event, and I will not enter to roda with him, and probably I will not take him a hand even. I know very few Russian capoeiristas who condemned the war to the present moment, and I don't know how our relations will be looked in future, but to the present moment it's very hard for me to speak with Russian people who not condemned this war. I hope you understand me.
Thank you for sharing your point, your opinion. Thank you for the honesty. Thank you for helping me and our community to know what capoeiristas in Ukraine are going through nowadays. It's already more than 1 year of the full-scale invasion, and I hope Ukraine will gain victory soon. Of course, no one is a magician, but if I had a wish, I would wish that Ukraine will win this war. If I met a magician, that would be my wish. Do you have any word to share with us?
In conclusion of our meeting, I want to I want to say to you and all capoeiristas and all people of the world who hear us, the war is terrible. The war is a very bad thing. But I hope that people can speak, and it will help them to understand one and another. And I'm really happy that there are people like you, or like Ike from Ngama Capoeira, who live in Yerevan now, who don't afraid to say that war is bad, that war is death, that war is the sin which nobody wants. And I hope that peace will change the war, and people who can speak will speak between them in future. I want to wish totally peace for all people of the world, and partly capoeiristas for sure.
Thank you, Chuveiro. And I just want to say the last thing. So it's a pleasure to have you on my podcast, on our talk with you, and I want to say Slava Ukraini.
Heroям слава Анголейру. Thank you for your question. Thank you for our meeting. It was really nice to see you after as long time when we couldn't to do it. And peace for you, man.
Yeah, hope we will meet soon somewhere.
Yeah, I hope too. I hope we will meet with you in the Roda.
Yeah, sure. That would be great.
Capoeira está de luto, birimbau entristeceu, atabaque ficou mudo, o capoeira morreu. Meia lua hoje é lua inteira clarear, a alma do capoeira que lá no céu vai chegar, jogando no jogo da vida. Capoeira não perdeu, mas nesse jogo da morte capoeira não venceu. Leva o birimbau sagrado da terra como troféu, para dar o toque de chegada na hora de entrar no céu.